why the Matrix was designed for you to escape. It was fringe researcher Jordan Maxwell who said, "Nothing in this world is the way you think it is. Nothing." An idea that has always resonated with me for most of my adult life, he said. I've questioned the surface level of reality and, moreover, the machinations that seem embedded within its framework. Alexis Brooks writes, and since the original movie The Matrix shattered the notion of reality as we thought it to be, for many the idea that we may be living in such a place, perhaps a reality designed via simulation, scores of people now question the baseline of what we believe to be real. Assuming our reality and all that undergirds the intelligently designed by what many call God or universe or source, whatever this omnipotent level of consciousness is, one would assume there must be purpose and intent. But just what is the intent? And furthermore, who's been charged with the task of designing it, whether for better or worse? When looking at the worst of reality, why on earth would God build the bad into this intelligent design? Some contend that this level of reality, a distinction between a given thing and its polar opposite, is absolutely necessary in order to understand the characteristics of each. Alchemy is one form of reality distillation that understands the power inherent in the unification of opposites, the goal of blending two opposite parts of reality to create a third reality that is comprised of both, yet the elements remain distinct on their own. And still, right now, at the level of reality that most humans recognize, the ramifications of distinct opposites could not be more in your face. The side that appears as bad, evil, negative, et al., seems to be trying its level best to co-opt and hijack its enemy, that of good. Ergo, there is no blending to be had. Those who've been keyed to the seemingly unrelented malevolence of activity on this planet for millennia, feel that there is some influence that has been likened to demonic or archon-like beings. An ancient yet advanced form of control who feels that the planet belongs to them, and so do the people who roam its surface. Included in their diabolical agenda is to obliterate huge numbers of the human species and subjugate the rest for their own selfish purposes. And just as the mere idea of such a plan is absurd to many unsuspecting individuals, oblivious to the large repository of documented history that shows ample evidence that such an agenda is entirely real. Now, but this is where the rabbit hole gets definitely infinitely deeper. Could this planet that has been likened to a prison in most recent years have a trap door that is available to any and everyone who could find it and summon the courage to walk through it? Is there a lesson that we all can learn about why such a prison exists? In a world locked down by rules, regulations, and agendas that some say must go according to plan, one might think there's no way out of what has been dubbed the prison planet, quote unquote. The Matrix was a movie that depicted a frightening scenario of robotic masses and their handlers, the agents aka archons, determined to keep taboos on and prevent the people from a life of freedom. The character portrayed as Neo, once taking the red pill, did discover how deep the rabbit hole goes, but he also discovered an inner sanctum, the power woken up out of dormancy that on some level we all possess. This initial Matrix film came through to many as a clarion call, a push to wake up out of the coma of complacency and recognize how reality really works in order to eventually muster the strength to defy its the appearances, and transmute the dark into light, much like the alchemists. But in order to do that, awakening to the truth, though a big move in the right direction, is only the first step. And once those who set the agenda to keep you in a perpetual state of acquiescence in order to keep complete control over you realize you too have swallowed that red pill, they see it as their job to ratchet up the pressure on you. Another film that depicts this apparent push-pull of reality under the guise of a matrix-like predetermined structure, but with a powerful twist, is The Adjustment Bureau. The storyline? Do we control our destiny, or do unseen forces manipulate us? A man glimpses a future fate is planned for him and realizes he wants something else. To get it, he must pursue across, under, and through the streets of modern-day New York City, and the only woman he's ever loved, and on the brink of winning a seat in the U.S. Senate, ambitious politician David Norris, Matt Damon, meets beautiful contemporary ballet dancer Elise Salas, Emily Blunt, a woman like none he's ever known. But just as he realizes he's falling for her, mysterious men conspire to keep the two apart. David learns that he's up against the agents of fate itself, the men of the Adjustment Bureau, who will do everything in their considerable power to prevent David and Elise from being together. And in the face of overwhelming odds, he must either let her go and accept a predetermined path, or risk everything to defy fate and be with her. And though under the cover of science fiction, the Adjustment Bureau is yet another movie with a prescient message for all of us, perhaps perfectly crafted for these times. But just what valuable message might be derived? The paradox and reality of our current times? The extreme madness that has been our world since 2020 shows no signs of relenting. This is a framework that seems to some to be contrived, pre-planned, and intent on reaching a very specific outcome, and one that certainly does not bode well for the human species, aka evil agenda, population control, global enslavement. There have been numerous names assigned to this apparent meticulous calculated program, if such a plan indeed exists. One individual might observe this madness, quote unquote, and conclude that we are doomed, this is evil at its core and nothing more. And another might observe that the agenda is a well-planned lesson designed to wake up humanity vis-a-vis a reality that only appears to be bad, and therefore must be understood as only a species-wide litmus test, which ultimately is for our highest good. A third individual may entertain both angles, acknowledging that both are equally true, and thus choose to use the opportunity to fuse opposites together and turn the madness into magic, The Alchemist. It was American novelist and philosopher F. Scott Fitzgerald who said, "The test of the first-rate intelligence is the ability to hold two opposite ideas in mind at the same time and still retain the ability to function." This is from F. Scott Fitzgerald's essay, The Crack-Up. And when you understand that this level of reality persists a paradox or puzzle, and yet you're treated as such, you can indeed combine two seemed opposites in order to create a new reality, and one that you could greatly prefer. But here's the kicker. It was a narrative included in the first scene of the Adjustment Bureau, spoiler alert ahead, that perhaps say it all about the true nature of this matrix. Quote, "Most people live life on the path we, the agents, set for them, too afraid to explore any other. But once in a while, people like you, character David Norris, come along who knock down all the obstacles we put in your way, people who realize free will is a gift that you'll never know how to use until you fight for it. I think that's the chairman's head of the Adjustment Bureau real plan, that maybe one day we won't write the plan, you will," end quote. So imagine that all that's going on right now may just be universe's way, though harsh as it may be, of showing us how to use our God-given free will through the unimaginable matrix of crisis, challenge, and a plan that appears to have nothing but evil intent. Imagine if the plan even included a cast of characters who appeared to design the evil agenda with an expectation of complete control and the loss of freedom and free will. And imagine how that script would turn on a dime to its opposite if we individually and collectively knocked down all the obstacles they put in our way. Could this be the real plan? Could it be that this matrix was actually designed to escape? So whatever the master plan, I think it behooves us to all at least consider the possibility. Better yet, explore it with action and intent. And then not only will we know what free will truly means, we will experience once and for all that the matrix is nothing more than a relative construction of reality designed to be regulated to the annals of illusion, and the only thing that is real is your consciousness to choose and to create your reality as you see fit. And this is from Alex Brooks of Higher Journeys on Collective Spark. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support. support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.